Good morning. So just a very quick video on creating a ambient occlusion AOV. Right now there currently isn't an ambient occlusion AOV. Now I am using a dome light. So let's see if that actually gives me some kind of ambience. I'm not sure if that does, but I've got a 2-point light rig and a dome light as the fill. So a key, rim, and then a fill light. So it's like almost like a 3-point light setup. So I'm going to create a typical ambient occlusion. So I just pass it right here. And let me just add that in. So you can see it's black, right? So even with that dome light, it's black. So if I go in and alter the values, there's nothing really to do here. So instead of using the ambient occlusion AOV, just because I don't have any ambient occlusion baked into any of my materials, what I would do instead is use the custom, and this is very similar to the Lester Banks video, but just to make it a bit easier, all you need to do is connect the utility here. So let me just go into my Hypershade, Redshift, Utilities. And it's just right here at the top. We just have to drag this utility into the default shader section. And you can see it's automatically going to throw on our ambient occlusion. Now just to go over some of these settings here very quickly. The first one, spread, is basically just dealing with the fall off of the, well, not the fall off, but the fall off of the existing shadow. So for example, if I put a 0 spread, you can see how the fall off is very crisp. So it creates very crisp, almost like it's actually a good shadow maybe for Lai's project, maybe, because it's very kind of graphic. And I think the default was like 0.5, so let me just go back there. Fall off is the distance it travels from the edge of your geometry out. So a very small fall off, you're going to get more of a cavity. Well, 0, there's no fall off, right? And if I give it a small value, you get more of a cavity map. So this is good if you just want to get armor detail and things like that, or very shallow fall off. And the higher up we go, the more fall off there's going to be. So you get a larger spread. Now the one that the reason why I wanted to make the video here is the max distance. Right now it's set to infinite. This poses some problems if everything's inside of a space, like inside a room or something. So you're inside that big environment, and I'm not sure if it's if there's anything around it. If not, then you could probably just leave the max distance to 0. But if you are inside a space, you're going to have to change this. Otherwise, everything will just be black again, just because or it'll be very dark. So as I start increasing this, you can see that my distance, the maximum distance, so that's basically that the fall off goes from 0 to whatever this maximum distance is very shallow. So again, this is great for like little wrinkle cavities and things like that. It might be a bit sharp though, and you can see here we're getting like fairly sharp lines, and we can actually, even if we had something with a bit more spread, you could probably get this look with levels in your compositing package. And then the more I spread this out, then we're going to get a bit of a nicer kind of softer fall off, so it'll let this fall off do its thing. So what you might want to do is play around with this maximum distance just to get a nice kind of soft fall off. This can be modified again with this fall off section here. But you don't want too much shadow and stuff like that. You want some, but not too much, because it'll tend to darken up everything. But I think this is pretty good, just because basically the way the occlusion is working is that as objects get closer together, you get darker zones. And actually, this isn't too bad. Maybe something a little bit more like this. And then all you would do is in your compositing package, you would just throw this on top of everything as a multiply layer. And then again, that'll just kind of show these darker recessed areas, so it'll add a little bit more volume to these areas. It's not going to show up here. You can see I have no ambient occlusion here. It's really flat right now. So it is something that has to be added in post. So you take this, throw it on top of the beauty. All right, that was a very, very short video. Hopefully this was useful. I'm going to upload it now.